Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Leon, and after 15 years in finance, I want to take you on a journey to actually show you which tools and informations you need to navigate the markets to reach the financial goals you have. So if you're ready to take your finances to the next level, like and subscribe, and let's jump in. Welcome back, everyone. The crypto summit is over, and Trump has signed an executive order actually to build a Bitcoin strategic reserve, but it was not as many as I have expected. So nope, the US is not all in Cardano or all in Solana or whatever. But instead, actually, they decide to keep the Bitcoin they have and to actually work a bit on building it out on ways that don't mean we just buy crypto with tax money. I think a lot of people are quite disappointed because of this development. A lot of people have actually expected something else, something more. Sorry guys, not gonna happen. But I don't see it so bad actually, because when I look at the facts, what happened and what is happening now, I think this is a huge step in the right direction. I mean, we just had the election some months ago, and before that happened, we actually had a government that was anti-crypto. They were just suing company after company. And now the White House invites the heads of the crypto firms and actually signs an executive order to keep the Bitcoin they seized, which are 200,000 Bitcoin, to actually build a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the USA. I think this is a huge shift into, or a huge statement as well of the government of the US to actually say, okay, we throw an anchor here and we stay on this place and we make sure that crypto is here to stay. This is how I see it. The issue with the strategic Bitcoin reserve, we spoke about this in the last video, is that if a new president comes, he can actually change it. But it's, of course, a bit complicated, and there must be a reason why they have to sell the 200,000 Bitcoin and so on and so forth. So let's not admit that this happens. Let's have a little quick summary what actually happens, or what is written in the paper. You can also read the whole paper if you want. It's quite long. But in the summary, actually, as I said, they keep the 200,000 Bitcoins. They're going to be kept for reserve. And there's one very interesting part in it, and it's that the executive order permits the Department of Treasury and the Department of Commerce to develop strategies for acquiring additional Bitcoins without incurring costs to taxpayers. What does this mean? This means that the US is allowed to build up this stockpile of 200,000 Bitcoin if they use assets that are not from the taxpayer. So they don't buy cash, but for example, we have a criminal organization, they seize Bitcoin, they're gonna add it to the stockpile. Same counts for other crypto assets actually. And this is gonna build a pile that gets bigger and bigger, and this also means it's not planned to sell any of that. It's just, okay, we're gonna keep this for whatever, whenever, and gonna add to it whenever we have the chance. Also, this means, and this is actually very interesting, that they have the chance to exchange other assets for Bitcoin. For example, if they have seized real estate, oil, or cash from a criminal organization, they can use this to then buy Bitcoin with it. So it doesn't mean that they can't buy. They can't just buy with the cash they're printing or with the money that comes from the taxpayer, but they can actually use other seized money, other seized goods to trade them for Bitcoin. There's a theory in which they could actually take sovereign wealth funds, hedge funds, or banks. They purchase Bitcoin, and in exchange, they give them bonds or other incentives. I'm not sure if this is gonna happen, but if this would happen, they have a huge mechanism to actually acquire Bitcoin, because this is how they bring liquidity into the market, is by bringing out bonds and then bringing them to the market, or bring them to hedge funds, bring them to pension funds. This is how you get liquidity in the market. So if they would do that and then in exchange actually receive Bitcoin that has been bought by the bank or the hedge fund, it would be a huge mechanism. I don't know if this is really likely or possible. I'm not an expert on politics, so please correct me if I'm wrong here. But I see a potential here that could actually help to extend the stockpile. So no direct buying, I know, but something else very interesting is actually happening. And I don't know if you guys are all aware of this word LibertyFi. I don't know if this is a name that everybody knows what it is actually. Well, LibertyFi is a company that is actually almost owned by Trump and his family. So he's not the official owner, but he's actually heavily involved. And he's also the chief crypto advocate of the company. So what I like to do, I spoke about this before, is to follow the money and see where the money is actually going. So we have the executive order situation, but we have also signs what Trump is actually doing and where his money is going. And he has bought Bitcoin and Ethereum actually one day before the crypto summit. Now holding 78 million in crypto. Biggest holdings is actually Ethereum, which I find very interesting. So if we look at that, also he's deeply in loss, 46 million in loss. Maybe this helps you to feel a bit better. If your altcoins are in loss already, the president of the United States is not doing much better than you. So it happens to all of us that we buy at the wrong time. And if you look at the portfolio here, we have 16 million value in ETH. We have 14.5 million in Wrapped Bitcoin. We have 13 million in Tether, and so on and so forth. Actually, quite a lot of Tron he's holding here. Interesting because that's a coin from Asia and it's not from the US, but has been performing quite well. Also is being used a lot in Asia. So we can see what they're actually doing here, and they have been acquiring coins. So Trump is actually buying coins, which is a positive signal for me. And as I said, I think the strategic reserve is actually a positive sign. Of course, it's not going to bring a huge liquidity. We're not going to shoot to the moon. I mean, I said if we get a strategic reserve where the US is actually buying, all bets are off. It's not happening. I would have been really surprised if this would have happened. I think what happened right now is already the big first signal, and it's more a signal than actually anything else to show, okay, crypto is here to stay. Which for me personally, I'm here since 2016, and for me this is a huge signal because this has been my main concern the first years. I remember until like 2021, it's always been my main concern. I was like, what if the US forbids crypto? Like, yeah, I know you cannot forbid Bitcoin worldwide, but if the US forbids Bitcoin in the US, this would be, yeah, devastating for the market. So I'm very happy that this thing is from the table forever and that we never have to worry about this again. And I think this is actually a huge, it's a huge win for all of us and for the future of Bitcoin, that we have the signal, that we actually have the open gates from the government to say, okay, we don't fight crypto, but we also don't support it too much, which I think is good actually. I don't think too much political involvement is what we need. So in summary, I'm quite happy with what is going on. I have another very, very interesting chart for you. I will get there in a little bit. And guys, keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this and see where the money is moving. See what the people are doing. Don't just believe what they're saying, but actually look what they're doing. With Trump, it's quite easy on his crypto decisions because he's actually doing what he's saying on the crypto stuff. He's buying and he's positive crypto and he brings the signal out. But if you look at like big banks or hedge funds, often they're like, no, Bitcoin is going to crash, and then they actually buy when everybody's panicking. So they do the opposite of what they actually say. So when you read like these headlines from BlackRock, from JP Morgan, whoever, check what they're actually doing. Check the money flow and check where they're actually going. This tells you much more than what they're actually saying. And what I mean is this chart. So we have the retail investors and their holdings of Bitcoin. And we have the larger, the institutional investors, which is the red line, and their holdings of Bitcoin. And we have the price of Bitcoin, which is the white line. And what you can see is that actually retail is selling. Retail has been selling, like since we reached our last top, retail has been selling. While actually large institutions are buying. And this is a really, really interesting development, because usually what happens is that large institutions sell into wins, and that the large institutions front run the market, and that retail actually does everything wrong. So retail is heavily selling, while institutions are heavily accumulating. This is a very interesting pattern, and I think this tells us more than any speculation or any ideas on other stuff that is happening. When we just see what is the money doing, exactly same thing. Follow the money, see where the money flow is going, and then actually there you got your position. Let's wrap it up here. That's everything for today. If you found this information helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao.